The Pact of the Four Seas. The storm was coming, and they had no choice but to meet. Beneath the churning waves, the sea gods had summoned a council, their last chance to save their realms. The waters were out of balance, the tides were too fierce, the currents too erratic, and the creatures of the deep were in chaos. If something wasn't done soon, the seas would tear each other apart. And so they gathered, four ancient beings, each bound to their corner of the ocean. The first, Tiamat, the serpent of the northern waters, her cold eyes reflecting the icy beauty of the frozen depths. Her voice, a whisper of 1,000 storms, echoed through the cavernous hall as she declared, "If we do not act now, the northern tides will swallow us all." Her anger seethed beneath the surface, like the glacial waters she ruled. The second, Okeanos, the titan of the western seas, his form ever shifting with the rolling waves, leaned forward with a deep growl. "The currents are shifting without my command," he rumbled. "There are forces at play here that none of us understand." His expression was full of both suspicion and sorrow. From the southern shores, the goddess Nerida, calm as the warm tropical seas, spoke in soft, measured tones. "We cannot let the storm cloud our judgment. There is a way to restore balance." Her hand, delicate as a coral reef, rested gently on the table, as if soothing the waves themselves. But it was the last to speak, Cain, the lord of the eastern waters, whose presence was as powerful as the typhoons he commanded. His gaze, fierce and unwavering, fixed on his fellow gods. "There is no turning back now," he said, his voice thunderous. "The pact is already broken. We must bind ourselves to each other once more, or all will be lost." The tension between them was thick, heavier than the deepest ocean trenches. The ancient gods, bound by their own pride, were unwilling to trust each other, but the damage was too great to ignore. And so, beneath the flickering lanterns that hung like stars, they agreed to form the Pact of the Four Seas. Each god would offer a portion of their power, an unbreakable bond, and in doing so, balance would return to the waters. The seas would no longer fight each other. But there was a cost, for such a pact required a sacrifice. As the oath was sworn, a crack echoed through the hall, the sound of centuries-old power being sealed. For each god, the oceans they controlled would no longer bend to their will alone. The northern tides would slow, the southern currents would remain steady, the eastern storms would calm, and the western waves would lose their fury. And yet, deep down, they all knew that peace would come at a price. The waters would forever be shared, and their reign would no longer be their own. Their pride, once unchallenged, had to be sacrificed for the greater good. The storm outside began to fade, the winds calming as the seas settled into their new rhythm. The gods stared at each other, knowing they had saved their realms, but at what cost? The Pact of the Four Seas would be remembered, not just as a promise, but as a reminder. Balance comes with sacrifice. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below to help the channel grow.